Beautiful good now, my friends. To explore the rainforest has always been a great dream of mine. I wondered what it would be like to be there in a person. What does it feel like to be in a native tropical forest? A place where you're surrounded by hundreds of miles of living nature and where you don't have to worry about what you're going to wear all year around because it's still warm. I fulfilled this dream and went to the Amazon forest for the first time 6 years ago. First I lived in Peru near Iquitos, and now I'm living in Ecuador for the 4th year. And I want to share with you my experience of living in the Amazon. I admit that life here has many different challenges. But living in nature teaches us a lot, and it also gives us peace and, that feeling of really being alive. Today, I'm going to tell you something about rain, because as you can guess, it rains a lot in a rainforest. There are a lot of rainforests in the world, and each one is a little bit different. There's no such a thing as one unified, same rainforest. Even the Amazon itself is a huge area, and it has lots of micro areas and regions, each with their own specific climate and vegetation. Such a more generic division is by altitude: high, medium, and lowland rainforests. There are some common features, such as a lot of rain and vegetation, but each place has own particular ecosystem, specific different plants, trees, climate, and atmosphere. The place where I'm now is a middle-land rainforest. It's like perfect middle ground. There are pleasant temperatures and not so many mosquitoes. But not to be said about the absence of mosquitoes. There are so-called sand flies. These are very small flies that will bite you during the day. They especially love your ankles and feet. You don't feel their bite, but you end up with lots of itchy bites. Nature repellents, however, will keep them away, and you may even develop some immunity over time. I'm mostly ignored by those flies now, and although they sometimes sting me, it doesn't itch so much. The common link between all areas of the rainforest is lots of rain and humidity. Rain is very important. Without the rainforest would not be the rainforest. The entire ecosystem, the plants and the people depend on a regular and abundant supply of rainwater. Why does it rain so much here? The rain is partly due to the fact that the rainforest is close to the equator, so there are higher temperatures and more water available. Another factor is that rainforests themselves cause rain to some extent, because all plants take up water in their roots. It passes through them and then it evaporates from their leaves as water vapor. Since there are many plants in a tropical rainforest, a lot of water is produced, and therefore it must rain a lot. In areas that are being cut down, the amount of rainfall and humidity is actually reduced. So clearing forests, cutting them, not only destroys the trees, but at the same time it also reduces the amount of the rainfall, and that causes a further disappearance of the forest. Of course, forests and any other nature ecosystem are absolutely essential for life on Earth and even for our life. The Earth is our home, and it gives us everything we need. It would be nice not only to plunder it, but to find ways how to live in harmony with it. It is for our own good and survival. But back to the rain. People sometimes ask me, when is the rainy and dry season here in the rainforest? That's, as they say, question worth all the money. Officially, there are really like two seasons, but the rainforest doesn't seem to care and does what it wants. I can't speak for all rainforests. I have personal experience only with this Ecuadorian and Peruvian Amazon. But here, rather than dry and rainy season, it would be more accurate to say like more or less likely to rain. In Ecuador, the drier period is roughly January to March, the rainy from April to July, and August to December is variable. However, after 3 years in Ecuador, I can say that I take this official division more as humorous anecdote. The place where I live now is kind of a transition between mountain and central forest. We are in an altitude of 750 meters above sea level. The climate here is therefore strongly influenced by the nearby mountains. Every month and every year is completely different. The only certainty you have here is that sooner or later it will rain. Throughout the year, there are such micro periods, maybe a week of not much rain, less clouds and strong sun as today, and light shower here and there. Locals say it's summer. And then few days later, a lot of rain again for several days. It's almost always cloudy and it can get chilly in the night. The summer and winter can alternate several times per month. I must say that I have fallen in love with the rain. It takes many forms here, and where there's a big rainfall, it's really an experience you probably won't get anywhere else. And the storms here can be really massive. Suddenly you feel this tremendous energy and power of nature that fills you with sacred awe. It also brings a welcome relief from the equatorial sun. When the skies are clear, the sun is really very hot, and the heat is such that you walk a few steps and the sweat pours off you. And doing any mental activity is particularly strenuous. On days like that, I take cold showers a few times a day. The rain then makes me very happy. Most living things need sun or heat and water to grow. There's plenty of water here, so everything grows pretty fast. You cut the grass, and in a week or two you can cut it again. You plant a tree from seed, and in a couple of years you already have fruits. Sometimes as early as second or third year, depending on the species. So that's a big advantage, because you can grow a lot of food quite easily and quickly. But of course, not everything grows here. You have to plant the species that are used to local environment. Not all plants can tolerate such high humidity. And then you have to take care so that your plants won't get eaten by grasshoppers or ants, which are also abundant here. My attempts to grow watermelons or lettuce have ended in failure. As soon as the first leaf sprouted, they immediately attracted the attention of the whole insect community and were gone the next day. Out of the million leaves that are freely available here, they just have to pick yours. It might be just illusion, but it seems to me that, for example, hair and nails also grow faster here. And fungi and molds are also growing faster. It's better in the cities because it's drier there, but when you are in the countryside, you just have to learn to live with the mold, fungi, and adapt. You cannot just leave something hanging around or piled up, because it will soon become stale and moldy and it will decay. Clothes need to be hung up in air to dry out or sealed in a plastic box so that the mice and the grasshoppers won't eat them up. But anyway, they will get stale and moldy in a few weeks, so you have to wash them again. On the other hand, you learn to be really minimalistic and not to accumulate too much stuff. And you have to learn to keep order in your things. Also, the construction of houses here has to adapt to rain. So they build on elevated concrete poles, and also you have to take in account that the roads might sometimes become a stream. Even the internet is not 100% rainproof. We have satellite internet here, but when it rains really hard, it just gives up and goes out. But instead of surfing on the internet, you just surf on the waves of sound of the rain. And let me tell you, it's absolutely divine experience to be falling asleep when it's raining. And what about you? Do you like rain? And what else would you like to know about the life in a rainforest? Let me know in the comments, and see you next time.